May the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be always acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. In the story we just heard, we have Jairus, a father whose 12-year-old daughter is dying, and a woman, we are not even given her name, a woman whose life has been just about consumed by her illness for those same 12 years. 12 years. Shiloh and Tamia, that is more than a lifetime for you, right? 12 years. Jairus, we are told, is a prominent man in the community, a leader of the synagogue. And leaders are trained to be competent, to get things done. And often they feel the need to be models to everyone else of having it all together. But because this is his daughter who is close to death, Jairus does not send a messenger. He does not ask politely, but he begs Jesus to come. His father's love for his daughter has made him desperate. And Jesus goes with him to see his daughter. As they're on their way, however, this woman, again unnamed, who has been so very ill for those same 12 years, she comes up behind Jesus and touches his cloak. And this woman is almost the exact opposite of Jairus. As I said, we're not even told her name. She is definitely not a leader and has absolutely no social standing in the community. And she apparently doesn't even have anyone to go to Jesus on her behalf. She is on her own here. And so she too is desperate. And with great faith and great courage, she braves the crowd. She just wants to touch the cloak of this Jesus who is healing in the name of God. And in her touching of his cloak, we are told her bleeding stops. But it is not until Jesus turns to see who has touched him, and she comes before him in fear and trembling. And she tells him the whole truth. And she is able to let it all out. All that she has been carrying and dealing with over these 12 years. It is not until all of that he tells her that her faith has made her well and she is healed. And then Jesus goes on to heal Jairus' daughter. We all know that healing was an important part of Jesus' ministry, and his miracles were not meant for show or to convince unbelievers, but were always acts of compassion. Compassion in response to the human needs of all people, regardless of gender or class, ethnicity, race, even religion. And Jesus always healed people out of love. At times in our lives, we might feel like the prominent leader, competent, able to get things done. But where we can get ourselves into trouble is when we feel the need to be constant models of having it all together. Feeling like we need to maintain this presence, this image of having it all together, and needing to project that 24/7 to everyone around us. This comes at the expense of our own selves. How incredibly exhausting to feel that we need to project this image constantly of having it all together. But even Jairus, when pushed to the wall at the fear of losing his daughter, breaks down and begs Jesus for help. And the woman, forced to live on the margins of her community for these 12 years because of her bleeding and illness, fearing she is not good enough, even she reaches out for help from Jesus out of desperation. May we never feel that we need to reach the point of being pushed and forced against that wall before we can ask for help. No matter how old we are, whether we're 8 or 18 or 88. And sometimes in our lives, we simply find ourselves against that wall. God, give us the grace to ask for help. And who are the ones in our communities that we need to reach out to? Those who might be easy for us to overlook. A mentor of mine used to say, yes, we all know that when one door is closed, God opens a window. But it's that hallway in between that can really stink. To which a parishioner once added, and that's one of the things that our church family is for, to help us along those hallways in between. May we continue to be a community of faith, which is there for each other and there for others, for those hallways in between. We are all holding each other up here. And may we be grounded in and grounded by, and do all of this through the great love of God. May we continue to be a community of faith which knows the healing and transforming power of God's great love. A community, again, which is grounded in that love. And a community that does indeed celebrate God's inclusive love and shares that love with others. Amen.